Dr. Mumita Debnev, a 31-year-old second-year postgraduate student at R.G. Carr Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, was dedicated to her medical studies and her work at the hospital. Tragically, her promising life was cut short in a horrific incident that has since sparked widespread outrage. On the fateful night of August 9, 2024, after completing her late shift at the hospital, Mumita went to rest in a seminar hall located on the third floor of the hospital's emergency building. The next morning, her colleagues made a horrifying discovery: her body partially clothed and bearing signs of a brutal assault. The initial investigation revealed that she had been sexually assaulted and murdered, with visible injuries on her body, including severe trauma to her face and neck. At the crime scene, investigators found critical evidence that pointed to a violent struggle. The most significant clue was a broken earphone wire near Mumita's body, which was later traced back to the primary suspect, Sanjay Roy. The autopsy report confirmed the brutality of the assault, revealing multiple injuries consistent with extreme physical and sexual violence. Sanjay Roy, who had no known affiliation with the hospital, was arrested as the primary suspect. However, there are ongoing speculations that he may not have acted alone. The investigation, led by a special team from Kolkata Police, continues to explore every angle to uncover the full extent of Roy's involvement and determine if others were complicit in this heinous crime. The death of Dr. Mumita Debnev has sent shockwaves through the medical community, particularly among her colleagues at R.G. Carr Medical College. Junior doctors, nursing staff, and medical students have staged protests, demanding justice for Mumita and calling for enhanced security measures within the hospital. These protests have highlighted the urgent need for better protection for healthcare workers, especially women, who often work late hours in vulnerable environments. The public reaction to this tragedy has been one of profound grief and anger. Social media has been ablaze with calls for justice, with many questioning the security lapses that allowed such a crime to occur in a hospital. The West Bengal government has condemned the incident and promised swift action, urging law enforcement to conduct a thorough investigation and implement stricter security measures in all state-run medical institutions. As at the time of this recording, the case continues to unravel. New information has surfaced regarding a suspected murder-suicide that occurred Wednesday evening at a Taco Bell on Graham Road in Cuyahoga Falls. Around 7:30 p.m., police responded to reports of a shooting in the drive-thru area. Upon arrival, they discovered two individuals with fatal gunshot wounds. Both were declared dead on the scene. The Summit County Medical Examiner's Office has identified the deceased as Megan E. Kellerman, 25 years old, from Stowe, who died from gunshot wounds to her neck, and Jason S. Williams, 53 years old, from Cuyahoga Falls, whose death was ruled a suicide from a gunshot wound to his head. Witnesses reported that the confrontation began when Kellerman pulled ahead of Williams in the drive-thru line. Williams honked his horn and collided with the rear of Kellerman's vehicle. Kellerman asked Taco Bell staff to call the police. Moments later, Williams exited his car, shot Kellerman, and then took his own life using a .40 caliber Sig Sauer P229. Authorities have found no evidence that the two individuals knew each other prior to the incident. "This is an overwhelming tragedy," said a police spokesperson. "The community is grieving the loss of Megan Kellerman, and we are still seeking to understand why this occurred." Megan Kellerman recently completed her MBA at Cleveland State University and had been employed at Shelter Care, Incorporated in Tallmadge, supporting at-risk youth. Jason Williams had a history of legal issues, including a March arrest for OVI and firearm-related offenses. Records show he was prohibited from possessing a firearm due to previous legal troubles. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is assisting with the crime scene investigation. The rarity of homicides in Stowe, which has been without a recent similar incident, adds to the shock and mourning within the community. Kellerman's family has requested privacy as they navigate this difficult time and expressed gratitude for the community's support. Taco Bell Corp. has also expressed shock and is cooperating with local authorities while providing support to employees affected by the incident. The community is now focused on coming to terms with this tragic event and supporting one another. A tragic incident occurred early Friday morning at City Hall when a woman lost her life after falling into a cooling tower connected to the building's air conditioning system. The event happened around 7 p.m. A city maintenance worker, alerted by an unusual sound coming from the chiller, discovered the woman's body inside the unit. According to city officials, the deceased was not a City Hall employee, and authorities are investigating whether she may have been living in the nearby area. City manager Peter Zanoni reported that after reviewing surveillance footage, it was found that the woman gained access to a restricted area at City Hall by slipping in as an employee was entering or exiting the premises. Once inside, she climbed into a large industrial air conditioning unit after removing a mesh wire cover. We have the police department, fire department, and maintenance staff on site. At this point, we know that a female body was found at the bottom of a pre-cooling tower here at City Hall, which is part of the system used to pre-cool the water in our air conditioning. It appears the woman climbed up, removed a protective screen, and then fell into the tower, said Zanoni. Zanoni noted that while the first floor of City Hall remains functional, the other floors are starting to heat up due to the air conditioning system being down for the investigation. Investigators are currently working to determine the exact cause of death, and City Hall employees have been advised to work from home. As at the time of this recording, the woman has since been identified as 33-year-old Ashia I. Lopez by the Corpus Christi Medical Examiner's Office. A significant breakthrough has been made in a decades-old cold case with the arrest of a 78-year-old man for the 1980 murder of Susan Leigh Wolfe, a nursing student. The identification and arrest were made possible through advances in genetic genealogy. Deck Brewer, Jr., who is currently serving a prison sentence in Massachusetts, has been charged with the murder of Wolfe, who was 25 at the time of her death. Wolfe, a new nursing student at the University of Texas at Austin, was abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered on January 9, 1980. Wolfe was reportedly taken just a block from her residence, while she was en route to a friend's home around 10 p.m. Witnesses described seeing a vehicle pull over, with the driver forcibly taking Wolfe and covering her head before forcing her into the car. Her body was discovered the following morning in an Austin alleyway, showing signs of ligature strangulation and a fatal gunshot wound to the head. Initial investigations involved numerous leads and suspects, with over 40 persons of interest and interviews conducted with several suspects. Despite these efforts, the case remained unsolved for decades. In April 2023, new forensic testing was carried out on evidence related to Wolfe's assault, which led to the identification of a male suspect profile. This profile was entered into the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS, a national DNA database. By March of this year, a potential match was identified in Massachusetts, where Brewer is imprisoned for unrelated offenses. An interview with Brewer revealed that he had been in Texas during the time frame of the murder. Brewer subsequently requested legal representation when informed of the DNA evidence linking him to the crime. Following the DNA match and further investigation, an Austin court issued an arrest warrant for Brewer, officially charging him with Wolfe's murder. This development brings closure to a long unsolved case and highlights the role of advanced forensic techniques in resolving cold cases. The Austin Police Department continues to work on the case as it progresses through the legal system. Which of these stories struck you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what you think about the cases. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on these gripping stories.